first part of our double header. I'll tell you one thing. Was I hyper last night? Oh, yes. For those that watch it and those that will watch it. Morgan Roth, Motor City Mad Mouse. Here on the Motor City Mad Mouse Show with my incredible crew. We have Jennifer Horspool, my PR person out in LA. Great to have a PR person out in LA. That's where all the action is anyways, right? I'd like to think she's in a great place. And we got SB, who's going to be writing the forward for my next book. And we have Ed, who watches me go. He hangs on just about every show, and he's got new stories for every last one of them. And Candy gets the end result. As I wonder how many hours of sleep he's going to get. Can I count them on my hands? And she probably figures, yeah, I only need one hand to count your hours of sleep anyway. So, all right, well, let's get to a busy agenda. Sports Exchange, we're planning to be on there around 9. We'll do everything in our power to make sure we get to that on time, but we have a lot of business to get to as well. Let's get to it. The United States government just bailed out Argentina's government with $20 billion lifeline to stop the country from a financial crisis during America's government shutdown. In an unexpected move, obviously, the bailout was actually designed to stabilize Argentina's collapsing economy, even as America faces its own government shutdown. The lifeline comes after Argentina's inflation rate hit 270%, pushing the country to the brink of financial disaster. Okay, Jen, we'll lead off with you. Well, the order I'm going to go in is the order that you see on the screen. Jen, you can lead off.
All right. Well, I think that we, the taxpayers, need our money back for one. To support another country when our own people are not able to even access, the funds that they need to get their food, I think it's a little bit of a problem to even access the funds to be able to support their family, pay their mortgage, things like that. There are certain occasions when something might come up, and that's how this was presented. But then as we unravel it all the way through, it's really not going to make the country stable. It had all these other conditions, and it's a failure. It's give us our money back. I think it's a bad deal all the way around, and I don't think that we should do it. I think that it's all the success is contingent on the success of, I don't even know how you say his name, but Malay. And so no, give us our money back. That's a lot of money.
Steve?
Yeah, I completely agree with Jennifer here. Look, I mean, I'm all about helping out our allies and partners around, especially in the Western Hemisphere here. But are we really doing them a big favor? And I wish somebody would bail us out once in a while. Right. So I'm not a big fan of this move. I'm not.
Eddie?
Well, I'd like to go against the majority here, but I really can't because it's kind of an over. I mean, just to both their points, it's nice to help out, but when your own house is in disarray and it's going down the tank, and to be honest with you, nobody's coming to save us if it needs to be.
Exactly.
If the markets implode, we're on our own. Period. To Steve's point, yes. I'm about helping out allies, friends of ours, around the world, be in that country. But if our own house, to Jen's point, we've got people who can't afford food, utilities, people don't have jobs. So, I mean, you can't, if this is about America first, to coin a phrase, that's not America first. So, no, bad move.
I mean, the other thing about being America first is one of the things is that it allowed the soybeans to Argentina reduced the price of their soybeans and screwed over our American farmers. So our money basically went to go help screw over our own farmers. Sorry, Candy, go ahead.
Yes.
Farmers are near and dear to my heart. My grandmother was a farmer for years, and she grew soybeans and all that. So, give us back our money. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I'm not too crazy about it either. You have your limits, for crying out loud. Just because we have a show called No Limits, that's great, which is our travel show. It doesn't mean that we don't have limits here.
I can call Vinny Goombats from the North End and go get our money back with some
There we go.
interest.
There you go.
I mean, it really looks like it's to boost up political cronies and not really to benefit
Yes.
the country overall, because it doesn't stabilize the country. It's
No.
like a band-aid at best, and a temporary band-aid, not even one that's
Yes.
going to last for a while. And you know, we have to start taking care of ourselves, and we have to start holding our politicians that do things like this. I think the politician that's involved with the fraud needs to pay the price of the fraud. And I think that it's
Right.
coming about more and more and more and more. And I think we really got to start holding these politicians' feet to the fire.
Yes.
They can't just go loose. They're out there just doing whatever they want with other people's money. And it's bad. It's bad for us. They don't care.
Anybody else? Let the craziness continue, because I'll tell you what, it will now. And I'm going to name off the states that gained independence from the United Kingdom. And it's not more than just the United States, people. The U.S. did on July 4th, 1976, but let's go around the corner here. Okay. If India gained independence from the UK in 1947, Pakistan, August 14th, 1947, 47 hits twice. South Africa, May 31st, 1910. Iraq, October 3rd, 1932. Israel, yes, they're gaining independence from everybody, for crying out loud, but May 14th, 1948. Nigeria, October 1st, 1960. Ghana. We're going to have a little interesting tidbit on them in the World Cup in a few weeks. I'll give you a clue there. I don't give many, but I will in this case. Ghana, March 6th, 1957. Malaysia, August 31st, 1957. Canada, Donald Trump's favorite place, July 1st, 1867. And did I mean it? Yeah, I mean, I have no choice. I do spend a lot of time researching, that's for sure. Jamaica, August 6th, 1962, the year I was born. Kenya, December 12th, 1963. UAE, I think, United Arab Immigrants, I think that's what it stands for.
Emirates,
December
yes.
2nd, 1971. Even Candy was alive then. She came a little bit before then. So Zimbabwe, April 18th, 1980. Singapore, August 31st, 1963. And Ireland, December 6th, 1921. I'm going to break this down. Give me two or three that stand out. We'll start off with you, Jen.
What am I standing out for?
Yeah, I mean, all the ones that gained independence.
I mean,
or
is
however
every-
you want to answer it. I don't care.
I don't know. I don't think I know what I'm supposed to be answering. Go ahead and go to somebody else.
All right, well, Steve, you know what? Take the lead, and then we'll double back to Jen.
Go, yeah. I'll pick up Jen's slack here for a second.
Thank
Look,
Yes.
the one that sticks out for me, and right now it's a hot, button issue in the United States, and that's Israel. And Israel is what?
Mhm.
It's the only democratic country in the Middle East. But yet, so many people in this country want us to wash our hands of Israel. Well, I've been there. I've been to the other side of Israel where all the problems are right now. And I'm here to tell you, they're not the problem. So that's just my 2 cents on that, since I'm being contrarian tonight. But the other one that stands out, Ireland, right? They had so many problems with the UK, but now they're their own country. And of course, South Africa, been there, great place. Well, it was. I don't know if it still is. It's been a few years. And right now, I'm not really hype on Canada. I know you love Canada, Scott. You live up on the border.
Yeah.
But, being a hockey fan, and I'll tell you, they boo our national anthem for the past 25 years at hockey games. So I'm not too hype on them right now. And that was long before Trump came along. This has been like over 25 years. When we have a playoff hockey game up there, they boo our national anthem. And I don't like that.
Well, you know something? I got to get involved before I turn it over to Ed and Jen. I actually ripped when I wrote an article for the Detroit Sports Broadcasters Association and blasted Canada for booing the national anthem. You know what happened to me after that? I got more death threats than politicians tell lies over that. I had to answer all those emails, and I'll tell you, the editor of that site had to take it off because he thought I was going to get killed.
Wow.
And if you Google my name, you'll still. It didn't help when I called up the Montreal people the Montreal morons either. Because
there it is.
Well, all right. So hold on, hear me out. But I call them the Montreal morons, and then I wrote another story behind it, and I'm talking to you people though. So let's not get too crazy. When he boomed our national anthem here in the USA. No. You cannot do that. Don't do it. I wouldn't do it. And I got news for you. So
no, in fact, when I was at playoff game, a Stanley Cup final playoff game. All right. And I sang along with the Canadian national anthem. Now that was in Boston, but they boo ours. So no.
So I'm with you. Hold on. I'm with you.
And that was long before Trump was president. He wasn't even in politics back then.
Well, listen, I nearly got killed over this. Luckily, I'm buried in South Florida where you can't find anybody anyway. So, yeah, no, I mean, I'm just telling you, I nearly got killed over this. I mean, forget about Donald Trump. I like to kick him around anyhow. And I'll tell you a story about him. Many years ago, I actually met Donald Trump in Tampa when he owned the New Jersey Generals of the United States Football League.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that. And I'll tell you one thing. What was interesting about the whole thing is he invited me and a few other reporters up there. We talked to him. I had no problem with the guy. Of course, little did I ever know he'd become the future president of the United States.
So do the Canadians have a bounty on your head, Scott?
What's that?
So they have like a $5 bounty on your head?
No, there's a lot more than that back then.
Maybe $10.
Yeah, like I said, I have more lives than Morrison, and he stopped at 9.
There you go.
I'm telling you, I'm right here. If I'm bringing up Morris on here, I'm bringing up. I can hashtag these things because what's going to happen.
Canada has long lived under the protection of the United States, long, right. And they get to have generic drugs for much cheaper because we pay for the R&D and take on the whole brunt of everything. There's a lot of benefits that Canada gets, though calling them independent, I think they live under our protection, and then they badger us galore. That's why they wear that big leaf on their back when they travel, so that they don't get mixed up or confused for U.S. Americans. And I think that it's disingenuous, and I think that it's terrible. I have friends that live there who are very kind, but as an overall,
it's kind of very interesting. I actually work for a Canadian-based company. So they're my corporate head, and it's all with the exception of, there's probably 20 of us from the States, and the rest are out of a 70-person company. So it's a 50-20 split, and it's interesting because I'm on the management team, and I'm the only American on the management team. But to your point, Jennifer, they're very. I have no problems with the Canadians. They've always been very nice to me. They're very cordial, but anywhere you're going to find those bad apples that are going to boo. They're going to boo the national anthem. They're going to, Philadelphia, they throw snowballs with rocks at Santa Claus. It's wrong.
That's Santa. No, that's Santa Claus. I mean, that's like off limits right there.
Right.
You can't throw.
No. That's like
evil.
Yeah, but if you're familiar with Philadelphia fans, that's right there. Well, I mean, they used to have in the Vet Stadium. They had a jail in the basement, so they would round people up from the 700 level and take them down there to hold them until after the game, and they would preside. I
actually went to an Eagles game.
Yeah.
In Philly, and I went with a friend of mine, and he begged me, "Don't wear anything that says
Right.
Patriots on it." Right.
Oh yeah.
Well, see, here's
And of course I don't. I mean, when I go to the football game, I just go, whatever. But
Right.
I was at the game sitting with this friend of mine, and there was a guy and his son about 3 rows in front of us wearing Redskins, like Washington Redskins back then, like jackets, because the Eagles were actually playing the Redskins. And my buddy said, "Pull your collar up." And all game long, we were pelted with pizza, hot dogs coming from way high, empties. They would come raining down on us all game long because, when they're throwing it from the cheap seats,
Oh yeah.
their aim isn't always that great from way up there. And pizza doesn't, it's not very, aerodynamic, so it's going to go all over the place.
Let me tell you, I've been to Veteran Stadium too.
Come on.
I was at Veteran Stadium hanging out with the fans one time. I got smarter. You know what I did the next time I went there? I got a press credential with the Detroit Lions and stayed away from those people.
That's the smart. Yeah, that is the smart one.
Oh no, I'm telling you.
But you know what? I've sat with Eagles fans in New England, and they were great. I mean, it is what it is. You're going to get a mixed bag, but yeah, I remember that though. I mean,
there's a culture of what's accepted and what's not in the different areas. Like, I'm going to bring it down to college ball because, like, I went to Oregon to the Ducks game and had the worst treatment as the UCLA Bruin just because we were the opposing team, which is fine for heckling. I don't mind, like, you know what I mean? I like game banter and stuff like that. I think it's fine. But to be downright rude is weird because it's gamemanship. And opposing that, I went to University of Texas, and we, as a Bruin, and I was all by myself, the only blue in a sea of that burnt orange. And those fans stood the entire game, and we slaughtered them. They were on like a 4th string red card freshman, you know what I mean? Like crazy, whatever was happening in their dynamics. And they still were like, "Thank you so much for coming. Welcome to our stadium. We're so happy you're here. We hope you're having a good time. Do you need any?" And I was like, the night and day of the Ducks to the Longhorns. And I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of respect I have for UT and way less though for Oregon.
All right, so let me add 2 more of these countries. I'll go back to Eddie Candy. We have a lot more to get to. I love the conversation. That's why this group is in the eyes of Jimmy Walker. Dynamite! Oh, there you go. But, I wasn't as energetic as last night. Oh, trust me, that's the one for the ages. I think the one that kind of stands out a little bit was Iraq. The reason why I say Iraq is when Candy and I went to London, there are a lot of those types of people that were in the first hotel that we were in. So you can see that one a little bit. In Ghana, well, I don't know where that's at, but I know I've heard a lot of interesting things about the place, so we'll leave it at that.
Never been there.
Yeah, I haven't either, but I'll tell you, I have an interesting stat I'll bring on in a few weeks about their.
I've been to Uganda, I've been to Senegal, been to South Africa, but haven't been to Ghana.
Yeah, well, I'll go ahead and.
Isn't Ghana down in the
it's not on my list of places to go. I'll say that.
Mine either. But I'll tell you, the topic I'm going to hit you guys with in a few weeks will definitely have your head scratching like they all do on this show, anyways. But anyways, go ahead, Eddie. You want anything else you want to add?
No, just it's just kind of impressive. You were talking about these countries that England had rule over, and they're not. You weren't saying the 1700s, you weren't saying the 1800s, you were saying 1940, 1920 this, 1940. I think Pakistan and Israel were in the 40s and so on. So I think that's kind of impressive with the number of countries that they had up until really recent time.
Exactly.
My second thought was, being my roots being from Ireland and stuff like that, them having control over Ireland, and Ireland still, it's not as bad as it used to be in the 70s and 80s, but there is still there's still Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland, Catholics versus the Protestants, the orange wearing the green. So No, that's always kind of an interesting thing where, the North, kind of still more have that, that English vibe to it, if you will. So it's just kind of, if I had to pick one, that's kind of where I would lean.
All right, go ahead, Candy.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I guess I didn't realize that they had such a stronghold over these countries for as late as they did. Like you said, Eddie, like I can't
Yeah.
believe, and honestly, if you look at some of them, even still, there's 14 sovereign countries plus the United Kingdom that are known as the Commonwealth realms. King Charles III serves as king and head of state, and it still includes like the Bahamas and Jamaica and New Zealand, and I'm like, that just amazes me. Guess this is very educational, Scott.
Yeah, the British ruled the world because they ruled the oceans for a couple of 100 years.
All right. Well, guess what? We're rolling on to the next one here. And I'll tell you, everybody's going to laugh their tail off of this one. I haven't seen anybody that doesn't. But let's have some fun with it. We got Jeremiah. I only have another 10, 12 more topics to get to, but we'll get them as many in as we can. I like to keep it real, especially with this group, because you guys have unbelievable opinions. And I have to see where they go showing to see which one I can pull out of my pocket. And I know that I'm pulling this one out right now. An 85-year-old man was arrested for street racing. And I repeat, street racing, and was just showing his car in Lake County, Florida. His name is William Bosworth. He went 110 miles an hour in a 45-mile-an-hour zone on June 12, 2026. This man still got it, Jen.
I mean, 110 and a 45, who else was around? Otherwise, if no one else is around and he can get away with it, I don't want to, advocate for 110 and a 45. I do think that's at least twice as much as you should go, but he's 85 years old and he's still street racing. I kind of think that there's a little bit of street cred just in that.
Oh yeah,
you're alone. My grandpa.
Oh, funny story, and I, by the way, Scott, I love this story. By the way, the 85-year-old guy drag racing. I absolutely love it. Well, but I'll give you a funny story. I knew a little old lady that had a hot rod T-Bird up in the Washington, D.C. area. And she was always drag racing guys for pink slips. And her husband was a retired D.C. detective. And these young kids would come to the house and they were like, can I talk to the little old lady that lives here? Because and they're handing this guy their keys, and he would be like, "Get the hell out of here," So, and he'd start yelling at his wife, "Have you drag racing again?" And she's like, "I can't help it. When I get up to the stoplight, these kids with these young cars, they don't know how to drive." All this, and she never lost.
Okay, great stuff. Don't worry, I got.
He had to take away the T-Bird.
Well, the only thing that happened with this guy,
and she was a great grandma.
Here's the only thing that happened. Smokey caught the bandit, but this bandit's 85 years old. Burt Reynolds. There you go. All right, turn it over to Eddie.
Oh, I mean, age is nothing but a number, and it's less than, how fast was he going? 145 or whatever?
110.
110.
Yeah, that's reckless by any stretch of the imagination. But no, I mean, good for him. What did you see? What kind of car he was driving? Was it some kind of suit? Did he have like a 457 in there?
Nope.
Big block.
Well, good list.
I've got that for you.
All right, no, go ahead. I'm done. Go ahead. Let's hear what he was driving.
So it was 11:40 p.m. on June 12th near in Lake County, Florida, Leedsburg. The drivers were 85-year-old William. He was driving a Nissan 350Z, and he was driving with the other person in the other car was a 57-year-old Philip driving a Chevrolet Corvette. Deputies used the radar to clock the Corvette at 125 miles per hour and the Nissan at 110 in the posted 45 mile an hour zone. Now, when he pulled 85-year-old, he denied he was street racing. Instead, he claimed he was just out having a little ride in my favorite car while smoking a cigarella.
Because he's no dummy. He's been
I
around.
love that.
More on the way, people. We're just
And,
getting
and we know
started.
in Florida, that's not an uncommon thing, by the way. I mean,
Oh,
you know, it's on the news every day that somebody is, you know, caught drag race, especially out here in Southwest Florida, because we have Alligator Alley, which is like a straightaway with no exits for like, what, 30 something miles?
Yeah,
so
I love that.
They're always, yeah,
Perfect
they're always
drag.
catching people doing that.
wow.
And that used to, I like that 975 by Ocala. I hope no cops are watching this.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'm in deep trouble. All right, we all set with this one because it only gets crazier, and I'm going to tell you why it gets crazier. Because a 13-year-old sells his pig, and I repeat, pig, people. Okay, for a world record $505,000. 2026 Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. Landy Mabry sold his Grand Champion Junior Market Burro. So let me go over this because this is fun. I couldn't believe when I was reading this thing. A 13-year-old sells it pig, P-I-G. Don't they used to play that in basketball too? Once in a while, a game called Pig. Well, but this is worth a heck of a lot more than those games at $505 grand, being a world record. Anyways, but yeah, 2026 Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. Landry Mabry sold a Grand Champion Junior Market Barrel. How are we doing, Jen? I love your smile. How do you like the topic so far?
I love Houston Rodeo. I love everything about. I love rodeo, but I love the Houston Rodeo. It's an extravaganza of an event, and I mean, he sold his pig for $500,000 at age 13.
Smart
Wow.
kid.
Not a bad start to life.
I'll vote for him for president, by the way.
I don't know if you guys have been to the rodeo, but one of the great, I mean,
No.
it is fun to see the teenagers, but it's even more fun to see the toddlers, the kids, that they do the mutton busting things and they tie these kids to the back of a sheep and the sheep, they fall off the sides and it's the funniest thing you've ever seen in your lifetime. I don't know. They're training for bareback bucking broncos and bull riding is my guess, but they're getting started on little lambs and it's just a hoot.
That's awesome. That's good for that kid. I mean,
Right.
and I've been to the bull riding rodeo. In fact, a friend of mine, he got us tickets right at the chute where they come out. And I mean, I have to tip the cap to those young men. And they're not big guys who ride the bulls. They're usually on the smaller side.
Yeah.
And when you see how big and ticked off those bulls are, when they come out of that, I was like, they don't make enough money.
No.
Those guys are awesome.
It is so dangerous and so scary, and they aren't big, but their balls are huge. Because
That took an unexpected turn all of a sudden.
well, you know what? I got news for
I
you,
was gonna
Jen.
leave that part out, but
Yeah, but now that
Jen
she-
went there, yeah,
We
it's
just went
very
like,
true.
Hey, listen, now that she went ahead and mentioned balls, wait till I come up with a topic in Canada that's going to require something on the
Oh,
other
boy.
side. So don't worry. I'm coming up with it. I'm not mentioning it this time.
Well,
I've given you more than I wanted to. All right. So, all right, Steve, you get it out of there, or who's next?
I'm up, and I think
All right, go ahead.
I've never been to a rodeo. I've seen, I watched it on TV occasionally. Kind of not my. It's being in Northern Virginia and a city kid, more or less, or suburb kid, not really was not really exposed to it that much growing up or whatever. There has to be a tad bit of insanity to get on those bulls. And even the ones who do the calf roping, they have to ride the horse, they have to jump off the horse, they have to tackle the calf. I'm not even sure isn't don't they have rodeo clowns, right? And the rodeo clowns are the ones that are responsible for getting the bull to come chase them, so they don't chase the guy who just fell off the. So I mean, I'm not sure what's nuttier, the guy who's riding it, or the guy who's dressed up, or girl dressed up like a clown, saying, "Hey, come follow me," and they're jumping into barrels. I mean, I don't know. Don't think you could pay me enough, but that's just me.
Okay, Candy, go ahead.
Yeah, have I been to a rodeo? Yes, I have. I don't know, it was a true rodeo, but it was a rodeo. They can be fun. I do have a girlfriend down here who rides that has horses that rides and does barrel racing, so it's a little different though. But you could see those at a rodeo too. But I will be honest with you, she tells me all the time how she gets injured by her horses. Like they,
Yeah.
in fact, she just got hurt this last weekend. They kicked her so bad she can barely walk.
Mm-hmm.
They hind kicked her her leg. So you got to be careful, but
Yeah.
it can be quite exciting though too. So
Yeah, my daughter works with horses, and she's gotten her foot stepped on, and and my daughter's not my daughter's like only about 5'2", and she's like doing these, but she loves. I mean, she'd probably rather die than not work with the horses. But I mean, she's like, yeah, I can barely walk, and she goes, but I'll be in tomorrow. So it's just the horse. It's a passion for working with the animals.
Mm-hmm.
Rodeo, horse riding, even farm, working animals and stuff like that. It's a way of life. Anyway, sorry, Scott, go ahead.
I want to know how big that pig was that it was worth 500 grand, or what made it worth 500 grand compared to the other pigs.
Well, because he's as good a salesman as Mario Cristobal is the Miami Hurricanes.
A lot of bacon is all I think.
Yeah, a lot of don't worry. Yeah, I had to get the Mario Cristobal in there. I was looking for a reason to get his name. And this kid's a good salesman at 13 years old. Well,
I was actually thinking about that little clip you played, the FIU clip about him last night. That's good stuff. I mean, good stuff. That's a teaser for anybody who hasn't watched the show to go see what that clip's about.
See, there's a reason why
that's a teaser, Scott.
Oh, I know exactly what it is.
I know you do.
But you ever heard of a Segway?
Yeah, it's those things that you ride. It's one of those things that you ride with two wheels, right?
Yeah. Well, a Segway is. Well, here's what happened, Eddie. You just gave me a segue about something that talked about horses. So I'm going to get to this one before I get to some rapid fire questions. Okay, there'll be a couple rapid fire where we can talk as long as we want, but I want to get to as many. Some of them are very basic, straightforward, but not this one. Okay, hold your horses, people, because a Florida woman rides her horse through a car wash, gave him a bath. Her name is Darla Hutchins, 34. I don't know what she thought she was going to do with the windshield wipers called the eyes, but oh my gosh. A Florida woman rides her horse through a car wash. I feel bad for Mr. Ed, but give him a bath. Darla Hutchins, that's the only horse I know that I can remember. All right, Jen, take it from there.
I mean, I've seen the picture of the coyotes where they're going up and they're getting the bristles that are scratching their backs and stuff. I kind of get it, but like, I don't know what kind of chemicals they're putting in all those car washes for the outside of my car. I don't think I would want that on myself, let alone on my horse, like certainly not, I'm going to go with no. I don't think that should be done.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do for the eyes when they try to keep the water and the suds out of them.
Yeah.
Because they don't put windshield wipers on horses.
Right? I just think that's kind of an animal abuse a little bit.
Don't tell that woman. She's 34 years old, and there's 12 commandments. Thou shalt not get caught, and thou shalt not overspend. Moses didn't come up with those back in the day, but I'm giving you a couple straight here on the network. Go ahead, Steve.
If it's the spray one, I kind of get it, but if it's the one you drive through.
Yeah, I don't, I don't buy this one. That's animal abuse, taking a horse through the damn car wash. I mean, what are you going to do when the bristles come down on his head,
No, that's true.
Yeah,
I didn't-
that doesn't
I-
make sense.
Or those, like, I don't know, they look like carpet strips that go side to side over. I mean, no, that's not a good one.
Well, I'm not saying it's ethical. It's information. It's what this show is about.
Well, it's Florida, though. It's Florida.
Exactly.
So, nothing surprises me down here. I mean, I thought you were going to say the pig went
Right.
through the car wash too. So,
No, I like the $505,000 on the pig and then the horse going through the horse wash. Because here's what happens, okay, when they talk about cars, you know what they do? They call it horsepower. Never mind. Horsepower.
I understand. I got the
No,
horse
I'm just,
too.
yeah, it's just a one-liner. I mean, it's probably one of the worst ones I've had in a while, but that's okay. Crucify me when I called the Canadian Montreal morons, and at least I have a good life insurance policy on that young lady to my bottom right. I didn't have anything back then, so I'm worth a little something when I'm dead. But anyways, go ahead. Anybody else want to add to this insane story?
That's insane. And now I could see if it was one of those car wash things where it's like a carport. You take your
Yeah.
car and you got a little hose. You hose the horse down. You give it a nice little brush, kind of cover the eyes. You hose it down like you do, like I've been to, where my daughters worked and ridden. They put they hook the horse up and they like hose it down on a hot summer day after it's been out in the field or whatever. So I could see that, but to Steve and Jennifer's point, I think the animal society would be coming out having some issues with that. You'd have PETA kind of knocking on the door. I don't think they allow horses in.
Yeah. See, I'll follow with Steve. I'll follow Steve because he's 100% right. It is animal cruelty. I don't like it. But as a journalist, it's my job to report it. Right, Steve? You know that thing. We have to report it. Amen to the journalism world. And for all those people that don't like us, it's our job to report it. All right, Katie, go ahead.
There's so many risks involved with that. Like the pressure washer could be damaging and cause skin bruising, like injuries. The harsh chemicals that they use and the waxes can strip the natural oils from the animal's coat and irritate their skin or eyes. Not only that, but what about like sudden loud noises? Like that could, if you think about it, a horse could really injure themselves if they started to get irritated,
right?
And then they start like bucking, and they could really do some damage. So that is really animal cruelty to the nth degree. Like no place for that.
Oh, we're gonna put her in a Russian penal colony. That's good enough. That's good, plenty of punishment. Hey, if Brittany Griner got out of her, we'll just trade her and just get rid of her. But the horse could stay. Maybe we'll just take it over to Louisville in the Kentucky area where it's a bluegrass state because God only knows the bristles that got hit right there and that. All right, I'm done with this topic, and I'm gonna make sure that everybody learns something. This might be a rapid fire deal, so I'll let you roll with it. But there's a lot more great stuff on the way. The countries that are featured topic of the night, by the way, is the countries that invented the modern world. And we'll start with this. The United States obviously invented the smartphone. I'll read them all and tell me one or two that stand out. And we'll keep moving on. Smartphone, United States. ATM, United Kingdom. Digital camera, United States. Text messaging, United Kingdom. World Wide Web, Switzerland. Radio, Italy. Search engine, Canada. Okay, well, they had to get their deal in. Bluetooth, Sweden. We'll be going there later on next year. QR code, Japan. Oh, well, guess what? We have one up there. So thanks, Japan, for that. Okay. Wi-Fi, Australia. Telephone, United States. Ever heard of Alexander Graham Bell? I think that's what his name was.
No.
Touchscreen, United Kingdom. GPS, United States, and that is that. Okay, let's go rapid fire on this one. Jen, which ones stand out for you?
To me, what I hear is that innovation goes on all around the world and brilliance can happen anywhere. So get your ideas and start filling them out, like make your innovation come true because you can change the world. It doesn't matter where you originated from.
Okay. Steve?
Well, here's a good one for you, Scott, because I know you're into Norway.
Oh,
The
yeah.
guys who invented Bluetooth, and the symbol of that is for Harold Bluetooth, who's the one of the last Viking kings of Norway.
Okay.
So there's
No
there's
way.
a little
Is that
there's a little Norwegian tidbit for you.
I learned something new every time I'm on this show.
Right.
Yeah. And the digital camera was actually invented by the CIA.
Oh, really?
Wow. Yeah, that
They
yeah.
called it a filmless camera.
Really?
Back in
No
the Get
kidding.
Smart days, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Or go gadget.
There you go. Good
Okay,
stuff.
So what was that
Okay.
guy's name again? What was
Harold
that guy?
Bluetooth.
King Harold the Bluetooth.
He had one tooth that turned blue, and that was his nickname. But he was one of the last kings of Norway.
So Harold Bluetooth.
Harold
How about
Bluetooth.
that? Okay,
That's who
I'll
they
do-
named that after.
Well, I'm always intrigued with this. That's one thing about the show. We process information, depending on what side of the border you're on.
I'm a veritable font of useless information.
Information,
Oh,
exactly.
okay. Yeah, well, there's a lot
Not
of
tonight,
useless.
though. Not tonight, though, Steve. That's a good one. Bluetooth, King Bluetooth. I mean, that's a part. That's like the party's dead, and you're like, hey, guess what? And then you can kind of drop the Bluetooth, and then you're the life of the party. You're
So,
the guy
Steve,
bringing it.
You
You're the guy bringing it.
you classify this show as usefulness or useful?
Which topic?
Steve,
What's that?
do you classify this information as useful or useless?
Yeah, well, hey, it's like it is what it is, my friend.
That's why we keep doing this every Wednesday. Okay, it is what it is. Those of you that are out there going to dinner with your whoever you're with, yourself or somebody else, come back. I guarantee you, we'll give you some
There you go.
information. All right,
Or just put it on your.
We just
put it on
lost
your
the last of the
smartphone.
sun out here.
It's
too.
intriguing.
oh, did you?
No, invention. What did they say? Necessity is the mother of invention.
Mhm.
But no, what was it? I don't know the exact number, but like Leonardo da Vinci, had like when they found his memoirs and all his stuff, he had something like, I don't know. I think almost everything that we have current day, we could trace back to something that Da Vinci had started or had an idea for, and just and that's why I think Jen, you might have said it the last time we were on the show, or somebody said about taking a shot. You always you can't be afraid. It's afraid of failure, and you can't be afraid to fail, because as soon as you're afraid to fail, you're gonna kind of pigeonhole yourself and not to taking opportunities. And I think a lot of something you said earlier, about the perfection, kids have to know what they're doing and all that stuff, that they lose the open-mindedness to go out and try something where they might fail. I know. I mean, I've got two kids that are 20-somethings, and
That are
they,
what?
20-somethings,
Okay.
26 and 24, and they're not trying to be perfect, but they're a little bit more conservative than, let's say, I would have been in some of my actions back when I was a similar age.
Okay.
So yeah. So
Less reckless. Less
yes. Yeah. Less reckless, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't really have to go there. I was just
Well, I
trying
mean,
to
I was just clarifying which kind of conservative they are. Like,
less
risk
not
taking.
risk taking, less reckless. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
because we
thanks.
talked earlier, growing up in the 80s and the 90s, there was zero consequences, right? Like
Right.
we raised ourselves, we're the latchkey
Yes.
kids. We never knew about consequences, but then the way we parented, our generation are the helicopter parents, because we
And
had
that's
no
just
parents. We did the opposite way too
that
much.
that just made no sense to me. It just made literally, yes. So, yeah. Anyway, I could go down a whole nother tangent about parenting, and with my background that I had, and it just not fitting the mold. I was just like, anyway,
Okay.
Candy. Yeah. Okay, Candy.
I mean, a lot of those things are like surprising, yes and no. I mean, you think of certain parts of the world that are way ahead of like the United States, but yet we're the ones that came up with some of this stuff. I think sometimes it takes us a little too long to develop things. We might like think about it and invent it. And I think people have to stop being afraid of inventing things like this. Like, otherwise, we wouldn't have new inventions. I mean, if you think about it, way back in, the 70s, like, you didn't have a microwave, you didn't have
Yeah.
convection ovens. Like, to think how how far we've come, pretty impressive. I mean, you remember the days when your parents would tell you, "Oh yeah, I watched black and white TV. We had one TV in the house.
Yes.
We had one phone in the house." And now look at it. We're all carrying a phone with us that literally has how much information on it.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, we'll call mini computers.
Exactly.
Let's continue.
You know, your
more.
cell phone has more computer storage than the original lunar lander.
Yeah, don't worry. And I'm dumb enough to keep paying for more every time I upgrade my phone every 2 years too. All right, let's continue on. This is going to be a bucket list rapid fire, okay? And here's what I mean by that. Countries with the most beautiful roads go, well, obviously Steve knows me good. Norway is on the list. Switzerland is on the list. New Zealand is on the list. I wish you could see the pictures that I look in front of me. Iceland, that's a favorite place of mine. I'll get there one of these days again. Scotland, only with one T. Otherwise, I'd say that was named after me too, since it has one. But but I have two. But I could tell you other Scott stories later on. Canada, oh yes, how many times have they come up tonight? More than a lot. Don't boo my national anthem, or I'll call you Montreal morons. Okay. Italy, I'll get more death threats. I couldn't stop this one. These
$5.
Yeah, I tell you. Yeah, I can only imagine. Italy.
And that's Canadian. That's Canadian dollars too,
Yeah,
by the way,
yeah.
Scott. That's not
Well,
U.S. dollars.
Well, don't worry. I got a great story on rubles that'll be coming up too. I've given you some ideas, but you don't know what the topics are, so it make a difference. So that's our teaser. Okay, Jen, just give me one or two that are on your bucket list because I have some more great stuff I want to get to as much of it as I can.
I mean, I think there's beautiful scenery all over the world. I've done a lot of third world travel, Costa Rica, Argentina, even when we're not bailing them out. But I haven't been anywhere. Bali, you know what I mean? Like, I haven't been anywhere that it's not beautiful driving on a random day. I think that there's so much to see. Even we went into the outskirts of Morocco and got to see amazing things. Then came across an abandoned castle. There's just road trips are cool.
Yeah, they are.
I've been to a bunch of different places. I've driven on some absolutely gorgeous roads. But actually, one of my favorites wasn't on your list, Scott. And in my Harley riding days, because I rode a Harley for 30 something years, was Pacific Coast Highway up to Santa Barbara.
Let me tell you, I've been on that one. That's great.
Is a beautiful ride right there.
I'll tell you, I went from San Francisco
and I got a
down
ticket
to LA. Well, I didn't get a ticket on that. I was forced to drive slow because those rides winding.
Well, I got a ticket on the way back,
Oh, okay.
California State Trooper had no sense of humor whatsoever.
Not a lot.
Well, don't worry. They're not much better out in Montana when you're blowing through. Broadus, Montana didn't like me either. But I found a way to get out of jail because they said, you guys got to label your roads better. And they said, keep your mouth shut. You don't want me in here. I'll be the loudest prisoner you've ever had. Let me get the hell out of here. Let me go to Yellowstone instead. He said, all right, get the hell out of here. In his exact word. Get out. And he said the word hell too, by the way. No problem. I shook his hand. See ya. And then I bolted out as fast as I went in. Just to get out of there because Montana don't like me. Broadus, Montana, stay away from there. But no, Pacific Coast Highway is good. All right, go ahead, Eddie, pick it up.
Yeah, I think they're all. All of them sound excellent. Even we went to Hawaii on our honeymoon years ago, and driving on Maui is gorgeous. Heck, I live right on the outskirts of Virginia horse country. I'm just down the road, and I can be into where it's Horses Farm and Manassas Battlefields, and it's gorgeous. So it's really, I think there's if you open your eyes and you kind of look around, there's a lot of really nice places here in the States. If you through the country roads of southwestern Virginia, out through Tennessee, when you get to some of the plain states, it's just it's just peaceful,
Mhm.
and because I think our country doesn't necessarily have some of that kind of tropical beauty like Jen was talking about, Bali, and something like even Argentina, the coast of Argentina, Costa Rica, and stuff like that. But I think there's if you pay, and even up north, into the New Englands, especially during the fall season when the trees are changing, I think a lot of times it depends on when and where you go.
Mhm.
Go ahead,
Absolutely.
Candy. Well, and don't forget the road to Hana is pretty good out in Maui.
Oh yeah, the road to
I've
Hana.
got-
Yeah, that's yeah.
I love that
Good
place.
point.
All right, Candy, go ahead.
Tangamangas Highway in New Hampshire
Yes.
during foliage season too.
Yeah, well, if you go to Magic Mountain in Londonderry, Vermont, don't do what I did on December 25th, 1989. Don't get busted up in a ski accident the same day Billy Martin died. But that's when I know
Oh,
that I got hurt. That's
same
why I
day
go to
Billy-
Billy
okay.
Martin. All right, go ahead, Candy.
I would say there are a lot of different roads that are very beautiful. Scott, I remember one of the trips we took because we like to road trip, and we did a trip from Michigan on the Upper Peninsula
That was good.
through to Wisconsin, and there's some beautiful roads and scenery
Yeah.
there. And here's what I'm going to say: it's beautiful in more than one season. So some of these
Mhm.
places, it's the same no matter the season, but some of these roads, like the Upper Peninsula, it's beautiful in spring because it has different flowers, beautiful in summer, beautiful in fall, different foliage. And for those that have never seen like a first white snowfall, it's beautiful like then too. As long as it's not the end of the season and the snow plows have gone through and the snow's dirty. But so some of these roads change and can be very beautiful depending on the season as well.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah,
guess
you guys talked about the road, going up the coast in Southern California, but the 17-mile drive is one of the most beautiful drives in California ever, and that's where Pismo Beach and
Mhm.
all the castles and all, like there's just
Yeah.
so many cool things.
And Scott, how about the drive to Key West?
Oh, I love
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That one never gets old. If you ever
That
done
is
it,
one of
it
my
never gets old.
favorites.
But the
Yes.
traffic sucks.
Not
It
when
can,
we go.
yes.
Not when we go. We get up early. We don't have a problem.
It
But I
depends,
agree.
Scott. It depends, Scott. Remember the time we took my dad?
Don't even talk about that.
Well,
Don't even talk. I nearly broke my wrist in Key Largo after a glass bottom boat. We didn't even know there was some sort of an event down there. And her dad, it was an hour to go 1 mile. I've heard of the movie The Longest Yard by Burt Reynolds, but I've never heard of The Longest Drive 1 mile that nearly got me a broken wrist. If I didn't have his sense of humor, I was in trouble. And I still came back icing my wrist when it was over with. Your dad saved the day there. A glass bottom boat. All right. Well, you know what? It only comes full circle that we talked about a 13-year-old kid making $505,000. So every now and then, I'm going to put some soccer topics here on this show because soccer's still a good sport. People do watch it every now and then, although nobody really cares about it after the World Cup. But I will bring them in every once in a while. But this one was just too good to pass up, especially since I play. It's like a puzzle to me when I put these things together. We have a $505,000 kid selling a pig, and now we're going to talk about Lionel Messi because he got some insane perks at the World Cup. Let me go to these people. This is unbelievable. And you're thinking about a place that went out there and had hydration breaks at this thing. Never even heard of them until this World Cup. But let's go home anyways, okay? Lionel Messi, you got a taste of it out there, Jen, didn't you? Lionel Messi out of the World Cup. Well, you didn't see him, but yeah.
I mean, you just can't beat him. People wanted to hate him, but you can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. No, you can't.
Great
Yeah,
minds
you can't.
Great minds think alike. So let's go to the scoreboard, as one of my old friends say. Go to the scoreboard on Lionel Messi. Private team flights, chartered jets between host cities. Boy, I'll tell you that like this stuff. 24/7 security, police escorts from hotel to stadium, tactical meeting rooms. Coaches break down every opponent. Stadium player lounges, quiet rooms before kickoff, closed training pitches, private sessions from private sessions away from fans. I don't like fans. That's why I stay in the press box. But otherwise, my golden years ahead, I won't have to ever see them anyways. But I love the fans that watch us because they're good people because they know what quality entertainment is. Private dining rooms, teams, chefs make every meal. Recovery rooms, physios, ice baths, and massage. Well, I can use one of those now after what I go through every night when I blow a gasket like I did. Custom World Cup boots, player kit, prepped every match. Argentina team base, private resorts and training fields, family VIP access, private boxes for the people around them. Boy, that is really tough stuff. Obviously, it looks like their training base was in Kansas City. So with that said, let's go to you, Jen. What do you think of Lionel Messi? This guy is pretty special. He's getting all this stuff.
I mean, when you're a goat, you're a goat. You know, he is all that and a cup of tea. I mean, he's fun to watch. He's fascinating. I think he should throw some hyperbaric oxygen therapy in there because you know how I feel about that, especially when you're doing the headbutting in soccer. I played soccer, but most of my soccer experience or football experience in latest years have to do with Ted Lasso. So I'll pass it to Steve.
Look at you, Jen. Awesome stuff when you're toast like that. Everybody can pass baton. Well, I keep looking for that. That's the rule the rest of the night. Pass baton when you're done to your partner. That allows me to keep my mind actively wild. It already is anyways. Go ahead, Steve.
Steve, you're up on Messi.
Yeah, it's good to be the king, right?
Yeah. Isn't it? Tell me.
It is.
Any more do you want to add, or is anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, I think you said it all. I mean, he's got all that going on. It's good to be the king.
Okay, fair enough. That's good. Okay, Jen.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Eddie.
Ed.
It's all right. It's okay, Scott. It's you're focused. No, my we sit here, we kind of go, oh wow, look at LeBron James making money. Look at all these players making money. Honestly, if you look at some of the top U.S. sports athletes, and you look at Lionel Messi and you look at Ronaldo, our guys look poor compared to them, and I say that facetiously, but these guys make more. I mean, with all the perks and all that stuff, and if you look at Ronaldo's story, if you look at Messi's story, they burned what they got. It's not like they weren't born with a silver spoon in their mouth and they weren't given it. They worked for what they got and they got to where they are. And that's kind of the American dream. You work hard, you get to achieve. And those they're not American. It's good to see that people from around the world can kind of achieve that so-called American dream. They worked hard. They still work hard, and they make generational wealth for their bloodline, basically, and that's a great thing.
Candy.
I mean, he is a goat. We treat our goats with respect. We give them things that we wouldn't give others. Is it right? Is it wrong? I mean, hey. There's a reason he plays the sport. We would hope that they give back as well what they get, because he's made a lot of money being the GOAT. But it's cool. I can say I am not the GOAT of anything.
Yes.
But kudos to him.
The only goat I get sometimes is I'm the goat if I screw things up. Other than that, I don't think they're the
Well, I am the goat of that. Yes, Scott. I feel you on that one.
You said that there. That's okay.
I feel like if you're the draw and you're the reason people are coming, it's okay to I think people need to understand that better. That he doesn't just come because someone says or someone chooses. It's
right.
It's a symbiotic relationship, right? There's
Okay, let's keep it rolling. We talked about travel. I got another good one here. Only this time you don't have to leave the country to do it. 8 towns in America are so beautiful they will make you want to pack up and move tomorrow. Jackson, Wyoming. Ever been to Jackson, Wyoming? I hear. I mean, I like Wyoming anyways. They don't like me. One guy didn't want to break $100 bill one time. I said because I only bought $20 in gas. I said, you got one or two choices. Either you break my $100 bill, or you just gave me free gas. He opened that crash register and gave me my 420s. That was the end of that story. But that was not in Jackson, Wyoming. Let's keep it going. Okay, they say it's surrounded by the Teton Mountains and world-class skiing wildlife and one of the most sought after real estate markets in the entire country. Bar Harbor, Maine. I'll bet Steve's probably been up there. A coastal town sitting at the edge of Acadia National Park, ocean views, fresh lobster, a charm that draws millions of visitors every year. Sedona, Arizona. Oh, God, Sedona, Arizona. Don't get me started with that place. Red Rock Country. I call that heaven on earth. Whitefish, Montana, a mountain town on the edge of the Glacier National Park with a lake, ski resort, and a town that wealthy, remote workers have been quietly to for years. Carmel by the Sea in California. I know you're a California girl, Jen. I'm sure you'll have an opinion on this one. A fairy tale down the California coast with art galleries, white sand beaches, and some of the most expensive real estate per square foot in the state. Charleston, South Carolina. Been there. Like to spend a little bit more time there. That's something we're probably going to do, especially with the Travel Channel right up the road from us. But it's got historic architecture, waterfront dining, and booming economy. One of the fastest growing real estate markets in the Southeast right now. As a matter of fact, the Carolinas are growing big time. Leavenworth, Washington, a Bavarian ski-style village tucked in the Cascade Mountains, a year-round tourist destination that generates serious short-term rental income for property owners. Stowe, Vermont is on that list. A classic New England mountain town famous for fall foliage and ski season. One of the most visited small towns in the Northeast. And that pretty much does it there. Jen, I'll let you take it from there. And when you're done,
I mean,
pass it over to
fabulous
Steve.
little places that you're mentioning. I'm surprised Coeur d'Alene, Idaho wasn't on there, but I'm going to guess that the last move bounced that off, the 2021,
Yeah.
2022
Right.
move. I don't know. I mean, Sedona is fantastic and gorgeous. I'm going to have to pass on Montana because I can't do that much snow. Same with probably the Rhode Island, you're talking about. That's probably a little more cold than I want to be. I'm not so interested in Washington. The Carolinas, I love the Carolinas. I think they're absolutely fantastic. I would live in a lot of places in the Carolinas. I would live in a couple of places in Arizona. Wyoming, I have not been to. There is a lot being said about Wyoming right now. I think Wyoming is going to change
Beautiful
in
place.
coming years. So,
In fact, Jackson, Wyoming was in the movie Which Way You Can, Clint Eastwood.
oh my gosh,
That's where they had the big fight at the end.
interesting.
Okay.
But hey, Scott, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to go up to Maine, you have to say it the way the locals do. It's Bahaba.
Yeah, well, that's my New England lesson for the night.
It's
Great stuff,
Bahaba for the lobster.
Steve. Yeah, that's right. You don't have the. That's true. They don't use that R up there, do they?
No.
Yeah. And I'm
No, it's an AH.
Oh, is that what that is? I'll just forget rid of the R, but AH.
Yeah, you put an H on there.
Make sure you tell all the speech improvement and phonetics people in every college that as well, because I'll bet half of them don't even know it anyways. I took a course back in the day at USF and they didn't know half of that stuff. But it was a good, fun class to do anyways to try to go ahead and do it. Great stuff. I'll take that. I'll take those, especially when you and I and Andy Canavino get together in Naples. And I'm trying to broker a book deal between you and him eventually. I just have to find the right situation because you didn't get your first book. But if I have anything to say, you're going to have another one. And I usually am pretty outspoken when I need to be at the right time. Okay, go ahead, Eddie.
Well, I've been to Charleston and down in that whole area. That is gorgeous. That is just gorgeous area. I actually had a project down there, so I spent some time going back and forth. I've been to Montana. I've been to Billings, Montana, so I'm familiar with the Montana mystique and the mountainous and the flat. Very nice here. I've not been to Wyoming, but I've heard it's gorgeous. And I've been not to the specific places up in the Northeast, but I've been up to Vermont in the winter. And Vermont is the size of it's a tiny little state that's looks very much the same as nice all over. So I think you could. I think you could do well with any of those places that you mentioned, Scott. It would be a
Okay.
nice place to visit.
Mhm.
Okay, Candy.
Yeah,
This is Steve.
there are some of those places that I have never been to. I could say, let's see, I've not been to Montana, not been to Wyoming. Arizona, I've been to. Sedona is beautiful. I can tell you that back in the day when I was, my parents and my siblings and I were on a road trip, our car actually broke down in Sedona. So we actually got to spend some extra time there, which was kind of cool.
Like
We've
bonus.
been to, we've been to the Badlands, been to the Carolinas. That's all cool. There's a lot of neat places, in the U.S. that I have not been to. That,
Yeah.
Scott, I don't have the same claim to fame that you do. You have been in all 50 states. I have not.
Really?
Yes, he has actually been in all 50 states, which I think
Yeah.
is really kind of cool.
It is.
That's cool.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy sometimes. I'm going to tell you some of the things I've done on the road to maybe prevented me. So, Steve, your phone battery is about to die.
Yeah, I'm down to like 3% here. So if
here I got one topic, I'll get you, and then we'll wrap up the show. All right, Steve, because the other ones ain't going to matter, but this one definitely will.
I was on the phone yelling at T-Mobile for an hour and a half.
Don't worry about it. Steve, you got to be on for this topic. I can't wait on this one. Say what you got to say, and that's this, okay? Because here's the reality of the situation, okay? And that's this. A woman turns down marriage proposal after learning engagement ring was bought at Walmart. All right, Steve, go ahead. Give me your take on this real quick.
What's that again?
Yeah, a woman turns down a marriage proposal after learning her engagement ring was bought at Walmart.
Hey, it doesn't matter where it was bought at. It's the thought behind it.
Thanks, Steve.
Don't tell that to that woman. Okay,
no, well,
Well, here, I'll give you another one real quick, okay? Is that all you want to say on that? I'll slip another rapid fire. Okay.
Yeah, give me one more.
Well, there's one clown named Snoop from TikTok never moved to these cities, Chicago, Detroit, and Jacksonville. My goodness. What are your thoughts about what this guy had to say?
Well, I have no desire to move to Chicago or Detroit, but Jacksonville, I don't mind Jacksonville. I think that's a pretty nice place.
Okay.
I don't know. I've never lived there, but
right.
I like the warm weather now in my advanced old age. You know how it is when your bones start to hurt. I like warm weather, so that's why I wouldn't think about Chicago or Detroit.
Okay, fair enough. You got about 1% left in the battery, but you got what you had to do. Well, anything you want to mention about how they get a hold of you, and then we'll wrap it up. And
Again, you can follow me on Twitter at SteveB7SFG. I write for PatchFans.com. I'm also a national security editor for National Security Journal, and that keeps me busy these days. But it was a blast, guys.
Oh, good. Well, guess what?
Excellent.
We'll do it again next week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Steve will
hopefully
take it the
my
rest of the
internet
way.
will be fixed.
Well, hopefully, but you made it work. You won ugly tonight, and you got to hear me say Montreal morons. And now I'm going to get death threats beginning tomorrow. Thank God, Candy, you're working, because I know I'm going to get them after this thing goes viral on Google. All right, Steve, we'll see you next Monday at 7:30, whatever the heck is. I've been involved.
Love you guys.
I love you too, man. We'll see you next week.
Later, bud.
All right, thanks. All right,
Later,
we're going to go to a few other topics, and now have one or two carryovers. But the carryovers ain't going to matter anyways. So with that said, Jen, let's just start off with the Jacksonville one real quick, and then I'll go back to the other one. So what are your thoughts about TikTok, this clown named Snoop saying don't move to Chicago, Detroit, and Jacksonville?
I mean, I can understand the Chicago and Detroit. I think downtowns overall have gotten a little like cuckoo and out of control. I was just thinking the other day how dangerous downtowns are anymore.
Right.
They're not pleasant. They're not safe. They're disgusting. They need to be cleaned up. Now Jacksonville, I mean, I haven't been there, but that's not what I understand about it. To me, that I don't know. I haven't been, so I can't really comment, but that seems like it's often left field from the rest of the thing.
And Detroit, you're not. I mean,
I mean,
I'm.
Detroit, Chicago, I think kind of the same. Like you got
Well, they really
snow,
are
you
in a
got
lot of
sun, you
ways.
got dirt, you got homelessness, you got disgustingness. You probably need to clean it up. You know, I
And you-
kind of understand that.
Well, you also know what they have there? They have Michigan Avenue. There you go. That's where the comparisons
They
are.
do.
All right, go ahead.
Ed,
Well, Chicago. Well,
Okay.
Chicago. Yeah. Well, Chicago. You know, my niece and nephew live in Chicago. I've been to Chicago. I think when it comes to cities, I think cities. Every city I in the country, whether it's New York, Philadelphia, DC, Chicago, Detroit, what have you, has its good parts and its bad parts. You stay away from its bad parts. You frequent its good parts. So Chicago's like that. Detroit can't be a bad place because the Motor City Madmouth is from Detroit.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, it can't be all that bad, right?
Oh my goodness, Dad! I gotta live with him. Come on now.
I've
yeah.
never been to Jacksonville, but I mean, it's Florida. It's got to be probably warm most of the year. But actually, Jacksonville's in the Panhandle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or close, yeah. So it's the weather's it's not. Yeah, it's not going to be. Is that actually in the different time? It's not Eastern, right? Is that Central?
It's the eastern side.
It's Eastern.
Okay. Oh, it is Eastern.
It's right next to Georgia.
Okay.
Yep.
So, but its weather's probably not going to be as warm as some of the other, but it's still going to be that Florida-esque. So, I don't know. I think the Snoop guy is smoking something on his TikToks.
No, I think so too. Go ahead, Danny. I'll tell you what I think about him in a moment.
So I've been to all three. I've been to Chicago, I've been to Detroit, and I've been to Jacksonville. Now, would I want to live in any of them? I'm not so sure. Chicago's the Windy City, but it also has Madison Avenue. It does have snow, so it has change of seasons. It's got a lot of sports going on, a lot of things happening there. The same with Detroit. I don't think I could live in a city that didn't have sports. Even though, like, I am from Milwaukee, so I am a diehard against anything from Chicago, whether it be the Cubs, the White Sox, the
Right.
Bears, or any of those.
Mhm.
But I could see living in those. Jacksonville that we've been to, it's nice. It's okay. I don't know that I mean, it's fine.
Okay, here's where I stand on all three of these. Number one, Bozo the Clown just made the show because this guy is Bozo the Clown. Okay, and as far as the cities, Chicago, love the Midwestern people. They've always treated me like I'm a Midwestern guy. Detroit people and Chicago, okay, are really close. They really are. You'd be surprised how close they really are because they treat each other really, really good. Detroit's my hometown. But the one thing people need to understand about Detroit is they've done a remarkable job with their downtown area with all those stadiums within about a mile, less than a mile apart with each other, and the way they fixed up that area. Yes, every area has a Martin Luther King Boulevard to it, and therefore you're not going to. Yeah, it's kind of like lets you know that maybe I wouldn't take your Rolls Royce in there if you know what's good for you, but you have a Martin Luther King. But I'm not saying it's a bad place. But Detroit, I'm proud of my hometown. They've done a lot of fixing up. I've always lived in the suburbs anyways. Chicago, a lot of people live in the suburbs. Jacksonville's all right. Again, Candy said it. If you don't have the four major sports that we're accustomed to, it's tough. But I've had a wonderful working relationship with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I have nothing to complain whatsoever there. Okay, as to the last topic, we let Steve out of here on. We'll end the show on this note. And it'll be this: a woman turning down the marriage proposal after learning engagement ring was brought at Walmart. Jen, what's your thought about it?
I mean, I kind of need to know a little bit more about the couple to begin with, but right off the bat, she's saying that's all you think of me. Like I can kind of, I understand. It's sort of like if you're under the impression that you're getting a diamond and it's a cubic zirconia, it's, there are consequences to buying things at Walmart.
Yeah, some of these places do make great rings. I'm back and forth on this one. I got Candy her stuff over at Jared, so you won't put me in a Walmart discussion. We use Walmart for shopping, but I can see both sides because I don't know the quality of the ring itself. If that ring was a lot of money, then she had to keep her big mouth shut and only it was from the heart instead. But she obviously didn't think about it. But it's still I could go either way on it. Eddie.
Yeah, I think I've gone back and forth as this question's been there. One minute I'm like, oh, that's just typical female. Just yeah, she wants the expensive one.
Right.
Then I'm like, well, you don't know. And then you're like, maybe the dude, because my first thought was like when we were shopping for rings, like we did it together. So we it was kind of like I didn't go out and just say, oh, I'm going to pick this ring. So it wasn't kind of I had ideas, but where we finally were going to go, I knew where it was going to go. So maybe the guy's can't rub two nickels together, and he's doing his best, and so it's kind of. But then I see Jen's point. It's not necessarily Walmart. Unfortunately, has the stereotypical thing of being, let's say, cheap. For example, inexpensive, and if you think diamond engagement ring, somebody's going to say, and not rightfully so necessarily, that So I don't know. It's I don't know. I'm gonna stay. I don't know. That's my final answer, Scott. I don't know about this one.
Well, I told you I'm on the fence about it too. I
So
am.
am I.
So I mean, I didn't say we
I
had
didn't.
to.
wa- I didn't want to be on the fence though.
Listen, well, that's okay. The waffle Brett Favre did for a lot of years and got away with it. So there's nothing wrong with us for doing it either. All right, we have another
Thank you,
woman
Scott.
in here. Oh, that's okay. It's good. Candy, what do you think?
So Scott, tell me exactly read that part of the story again.
Well, you got a different version than the one I got?
No.
All right, good. I'll read it back to you. I'm just saying, oh God, the
She's
king of
checking yourself
research is
now.
about to find a research
Yeah,
me on
exactly.
being credible here. But no, a woman turned down marriage proposal after learning the engagement ring was bought from Walmart.
Okay, so a couple things to this story. You said an engagement ring. You did not
Right.
say a diamond ring. If
Right.
you go to Walmart and you could buy fashion jewelry, that piece of jewelry might last longer than your marriage because it could be fake and it could turn your fingers colors. I mean, here's what I'm going to say. Without knowing the financial situation, if he was just trying to be cheap, then yeah, get out
Yeah.
because this is a ring that's supposed to last you your entire life. So is it one you're going to spend a little bit more on? You better, because if you're not spending the money on your fiance that you want to spend the rest of your life with, who are you spending your money on? That's my 2 cents. Now, I'm not saying you got to go out and buy the best thing out there that you can't afford, but within reason, it should be a symbol of your love for her. And if your symbol of your love is only $50 ring or something like that, I do have a problem with that.
I think I want to tune back in again. I hope you don't mind, but
go ahead.
You both brought up really valuable points about the value, and it's really the value of Walmart. Because Walmart has even if you buy a Sony at Walmart, it's not the same Sony that you buy anywhere else. Walmart has, because they're such strong negotiators and they have such big buying power, there's actual lines that are created that are only sold at Walmart, because it's not just that it's less expensive, that it's inexpensive. It's that it's cheaper made. It's the quality of Walmart is not quality at all. And that's, I think, where the real problem is, because he could buy an inexpensive ring somewhere else, and there's no problem in having starter rings, in saying, but that's a conversation, like to Ed's point, like he went out with his wife and they shop together. Mm-hmm. What can we afford right now? What do we want to hope to aspire to? A lot of people upgrade their ring as they go on through life, and I think that's perfectly fine. I think that it's the concept of, like, whether you bought it at Temu, I don't want anything from Temu or Shine either, right?
Exactly.
That's telling me you don't value me, that you value junk. That's what Walmart sells, that's what Temu sells, and that's what Shine sells. Junk at a low price, versus you could have something of the same exact price that you paid at Walmart, but you could get something that's not as perceived as junk.
All right, well, let me give you everybody an interesting story because everybody came up with some good points. And can't keep me quiet when I got this, and we got to go to Sports Exchange in a few minutes. Number one, all the rings I have, I put them in my safety deposit box. And you know what I did? I bought Candy found me an interesting little ring over at Festival Flea Market. It's too bad they tore the place down and built warehouses. And this little $5 cheapie is good enough, because if anybody wants to steal this thing, they must be really hard up. And this little bad boy is holding up pretty good. I don't worry about nothing. So it's a different situation. I'd rather keep the cash in the other ring put away at home. What am I going to insure? A $5 X-Lax ring? Seriously, really? Seriously? Whatever order. Really? Seriously? Really? That's how you do it, right, when you have a hat named after it. So that's it. So these ring stories are interesting and all that. But yeah, Festival Flea Market. I'll tell you about the Festival Flea Market. Before it went down, I bought this microphone chain, and I bought 3 more. Can everybody see it here out in TV land? Yeah, it's out there. And I ended up getting 3 more. I bought their last 4 microphones and got the last 4 chains. And I'll tell you, I got a lot of stuff there, but at least I have my image over at the Festival Flea Market. Great doing business with y'all. Enjoy the warehouses. And I hope everybody else enjoyed this edition of the Motor City Man Mount Show. With that said, let's whip it around the horn real quick. Katie Hanks is home with a station break. Jen, my partner in crime in California, let them know about you. Tell them how they get a hold of you.
All right. So engagement, I'm at Engagement PR and Marketing, or at Jennifer L. Horsepool. Either way, find me. We'll build your brand. We'll talk about all kinds of good things.
All right, Eddie.
Well, if you follow the South Florida Tribune, you can find me Tuesday nights on Inside the Pigskin. Wednesday nights right here at, what is this called? This is Motor City Madmouth. And tomorrow night, one last time for the week on the Sports Wrap with Scott again. You can also catch me on all the different social medias at Ed McAndrew.
And also tomorrow night, interesting point about Sports Wrap. It will be the last official hockey show that we do, but Sports Wrap is not going away as I'm changing the format. So we'll be able to talk about all sports, not just mainly hockey and soccer. Candy, take us home.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our visionary leader, Mr. Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth. Talks about his 40-plus years in the media business. Old school media versus new school media. Get your copy today. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. There's a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there is a plethora of great content, so go check it out. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. If you want to be a guest or you want to sponsor a show, email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. Last but not least, we have more than one YouTube channel. If you see the red subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, that means you have not yet subscribed to us. Please do so. QR code is for South Florida Tribune's YouTube channel, but we also have Destination Discoveries Media Network, which is our travel YouTube channel. And I'm going to put that there. The QR code is for Destination Discoveries. If you like to travel, you definitely have to check us out. Back to you, Scott.
All right, well, that does it for us here on Motor City Man Mount Show. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. If you like it, watch it again. Otherwise, feel free to go after last night's show that I did here on the network for, Inside the Pigskin. It was a classic. So on behalf of Steve Ballesteri, Jennifer Horsepool, Ed McAndrew, and Kate Emily, my name is Scott Morganroth. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we have more programming on the way. Thank you. Have a good night.